Did you know you could lose everything you've built in your entire life just because of a few mistakes after 70? It's a tough thing to think about, especially when you've spent decades building a life, a family, and a nest egg, meant to carry you through retirement with comfort and dignity. And yet many older adults unknowingly face risks that could quietly drain their savings, undermine their independence, or leave them vulnerable to manipulation, financially and emotionally. The truth is, protecting your assets in your later years takes more than common sense. It requires awareness, strategy, and a few grounded rules that often go unspoken. In this video, we're diving into 4 essential rules that every older adult should know to protect their wealth and peace of mind after 70. These aren't just suggestions. These are time-tested principles drawn from real-life experiences, subtle warning signs, and lessons learned the hard way. You'll learn how small decisions can have big consequences, and how to spot the quiet mistakes that could cost you everything. From protecting your legal rights to staying sharp with your everyday expenses, each rule offers insight into how to age with both wisdom and strength. Stay with us until the end, because this isn't just about holding on to your money. It's about preserving your freedom, your dignity, and the sense of security you've earned over a lifetime. Even one small shift in how you approach your financial decisions can make a huge difference. Not just for you, but for your loved ones too. And if you're someone who thinks you're already careful enough, this might surprise you, because the biggest risks often come from the places we trust the most. Let's begin. Number 1, the danger of giving someone full control over your finances. One clear way people unintentionally lose their assets after 70 is by handing over too much financial control to someone else, often with the best of intentions. It usually begins with a desire to simplify life, to get a little help from a loved one, or to make sure bills are paid on time. But what may seem like a small act of trust can turn into a situation that's hard to undo. You might think, my daughter would never take advantage of me, or my son knows what's best. And while that may be true, it's not always about bad intentions. Sometimes it's about mistakes, misunderstandings, or pressure from others in their lives that you don't even see coming. When you give someone access to your accounts through joint ownership, power of attorney, or co-signing, you're often handing them the keys to your financial life. They can move money, make decisions, and in many cases, act without telling you. That kind of power can be dangerous, especially if you're not fully aware of what legal rights you're giving away. And unfortunately, once money disappears or decisions are made in your name, it's not easy to recover what's lost. There was a man named Gerald, 82 years old, who decided to put his nephew on his bank account because he needed help paying some online bills. The nephew didn't do anything illegal, but over time he started using the account as if it were partly his. Small withdrawals, unnecessary purchases, and even a few loans to his friends added up to several $1,000s. Gerald didn't notice until it was too late, and because the account was joint, the bank told him it was legal. That's the hard part. Just because you trust someone doesn't mean you should give up control. People often assume that signing over power of attorney or adding someone to their accounts will protect them, but it can actually remove protections instead. These legal tools aren't bad on their own, but they must be set up with specific limits, checks, and documentation. It's not enough to rely on family harmony or goodwill. As we get older, we become more vulnerable, not just physically, but emotionally. And unfortunately, financial predators know that too. Sometimes it's not a stranger scamming you, but someone close, who gradually oversteps without even realizing it. That's why the safest path is to keep ownership of your accounts, maintain separate records, and if you do need help, consult a qualified legal professional to draw up clear terms. Limited power of attorney, revocable trusts, or monitored access. Accounts can help you retain control while still getting the support you need. You want to make sure that no one, not even your closest family member, can make a major financial decision on your behalf without safeguards in place. Think of it as protecting both you and them from future regret. Having boundaries doesn't mean you don't trust your loved ones. It means you're wise enough to recognize that good people can still make bad decisions when given too much unchecked power. After 70, protecting your assets often comes down to protecting your decision-making power, because once that slips away, it's hard to get it back. Number 2, the silent drain of recurring expenses and outdated financial commitments. Another quiet way people lose their assets after 70 isn't through big risks. It's through the small leaks they don't even notice. Many older adults continue to pay for things they no longer use, need, or even remember signing up for. Recurring expenses have a way of blending into the background, showing up month after month like clockwork, silently chipping away at your retirement savings. Whether it's an old magazine subscription, a streaming service you haven't watched in years, or insurance coverage, you no longer need. These little charges add up faster than most people realize. Take Sandra, for example. She's 76 and lives comfortably in a modest home, but one day her daughter asked to review her credit card statements. It turned out Sandra was paying for 3 separate identity protection services, 2 streaming platforms she never watched, and a gym membership she hadn't used since before the pandemic. Altogether, it was nearly $3,000 a year, just quietly slipping through the cracks. She never felt the impact day to day, but over time, that money could have been used for better food, home repairs, or even small joys like visits with family. It's not always about overspending. It's often about outdated spending, choices that made sense 5 or 10 years ago but don't anymore. After 70, your financial priorities change. You might not drive as much, travel as often, or need the same kinds of insurance coverage you once did. But companies rely on auto-pay systems and auto-renewals to keep collecting money from people who forget or avoid going through the hassle of canceling. And when your income becomes more fixed, even small recurring charges start to matter. There's also a psychological reason this happens. As we age, many of us fear the idea of change. We cling to routine, even if that routine isn't serving us anymore. There's comfort in just letting it be, even if letting it be means wasting money. It's also uncomfortable to dig into old paperwork or call customer service numbers that are designed to be frustrating. But doing nothing can cost you more than you think, not just financially, but emotionally. It creates a quiet undercurrent of anxiety, the feeling that money seems to disappear without explanation. Taking time to review your monthly expenses may not sound exciting, but it can be surprisingly empowering. Go through every bill, every auto payment, every service plan. If you're not using it, or if you don't fully understand what it's for, ask someone you trust to help you evaluate it. There's no shame in realizing you've been overpaying for something. The only shame would be in letting it continue out of fear, pride, or inertia. And in today's digital world, there are even tools that can help you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions in just a few clicks. Eliminating wasteful spending isn't just about saving money, it's about reclaiming control. It's about making sure your hard-earned assets are going toward things that truly support your quality of life. Every dollar you recover from a useless expense is a dollar you can use to make your days brighter, your body healthier, or your heart more at ease. You're not just protecting your money, you're protecting your peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, the importance of diversifying your income sources. One of the most overlooked but essential rules to protecting your financial well-being after 70 is not putting all your eggs in one basket. For many older adults, there's a heavy reliance on a single source of income, usually Social Security or a pension. And while these are important, they're not always stable, and they rarely keep pace with the true cost of living. When your entire livelihood depends on just one stream, even a small disruption can feel like an earthquake. That's why diversifying your income, even in simple ways, becomes a critical form of protection. Let's talk about Frank, a 74-year-old retired school teacher. For years, he depended solely on his pension and Social Security. It was enough until his property taxes went up, medical bills started piling in, and inflation began to erode the value of his monthly check. Suddenly, what used to cover everything barely stretched across the essentials. He didn't want to go back to work, but he found peace of mind by converting part of his savings into a small annuity and renting out a portion of his garage to a local artist. It didn't make him rich, but it created breathing room and a sense of security he hadn't felt in years. Diversifying your income after 70 doesn't have to mean picking up a part-time job or diving into the stock market. It can be as simple as identifying small, steady streams that ease the burden. A well-structured annuity, a downsized rental property, even turning a hobby into a tiny side business. These are options that give you flexibility. And when life throws a surprise your way, which it always does, having multiple sources allows you to adjust without panic. There's also something deeply empowering about knowing you have more than one safety net. Psychologically, it reduces fear. It gives you a sense of ownership over your financial future, instead of feeling at the mercy of bureaucracy or rising costs. Depending entirely on Social Security can feel like walking a tightrope without a net. One delayed check, one policy change, and suddenly you're in a bind. But when you've built even modest backups, you walk with more confidence. You know you have options. Some people hesitate to diversify because they believe it's too late or too complicated. They think I'm too old to start something new, or I don't understand investments. But the truth is, there are safe, simple strategies that require no deep financial knowledge. You can speak with a trusted advisor about low-risk dividend portfolios. You can rent out a room, teach a class, or sell vintage collectibles online. You can even pool resources with friends or family to create shared income projects that benefit everyone. And here's something not everyone tells you. You don't need to create massive income. Even an extra $100 or $200 a month can make a noticeable difference. It can cover prescriptions, groceries, or that trip to visit the grandkids. It's not about wealth. It's about freedom, the kind that allows you to make decisions based on what you want, not just what you can afford. You've spent your life working, saving, and providing. You deserve to enter this chapter with strength and peace, not fear. And that peace often comes from knowing that no matter what happens to one part of your income, you've built other paths to keep you steady. Diversification isn't just a financial tactic. It's a life strategy for aging with resilience and independence. Number 4, the hidden risks of outdated estate plans and neglected beneficiary designations. Many people believe that once they've created a will or set up a trust, their estate is protected and there's nothing more to worry about. But the truth is, estate plans are living documents, and if they're not reviewed and updated regularly, they can become traps rather than safeguards. Outdated documents, unclear instructions, or old beneficiary designations can lead to costly legal battles, strained family relationships, or assets ending up in the wrong hands entirely. And unfortunately, most people don't realize the damage until it's too late to fix it. Take the story of Harold, an 81-year-old retired engineer. He had written his will back in his 60s, when his children were still young and his financial situation was very different. At the time, he named his older brother as executor and listed an ex-girlfriend as the beneficiary of a small life insurance policy he forgot he even had. Fast forward 20 years, his brother had passed away, his relationship with his children had matured beautifully, and he hadn't spoken to the ex-girlfriend in decades. But because he never updated his paperwork, the insurance money went to someone who no longer played a role in his life, and his children had to navigate the courts to sort out the rest. Situations like Harold's happen more often than you'd think. Life changes, but paperwork doesn't change itself. Maybe you've remarried. Maybe someone you trusted has passed on or moved away. Maybe you've acquired new assets or sold off old ones. All of these shifts affect how your estate should be handled. And if your documents don't reflect those changes, the courts will be left to interpret your intentions, and they may get it wrong. Another common oversight is forgetting to check beneficiary designations on retirement accounts, life insurance policies, or bank accounts. These designations actually override what's written in your will. That means if your will says one thing, but your account paperwork says another, the account beneficiary wins. It's a quiet loophole that has left many families shocked and heartbroken, especially when an estranged relative or ex-spouse ends up receiving assets meant for someone else. People often avoid revisiting these documents because they find them overwhelming or emotionally difficult. No one likes to think about what will happen after they're gone, but updating your estate plan isn't about preparing for the end. It's about protecting your legacy. It's about making sure the people you care about are looked after the way you intended. And it's about preventing confusion, conflict, and unnecessary expenses down the road. Reviewing your estate plan doesn't have to be complicated. A good first step is simply to read through your will, trust documents, and any accounts with named beneficiaries. If anything feels outdated, unclear, or inconsistent, bring it to a qualified estate attorney or financial advisor. It's also wise to have a conversation with your loved ones, so they understand your wishes and feel included in the process. That way, they're not left guessing or scrambling in a time of grief. Remember, estate planning is not a one-time event. It's a reflection of your evolving life, values, and relationships. Keeping it current is one of the most loving and responsible things you can do, not just for your assets, but for the people you care about most. By taking the time to update your plans, you're preserving peace, clarity, and dignity, both for yourself and for those who follow after you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, I want you to take a quiet moment to reflect on the 4 essential rules we've explored today. Which one stood out to you the most? Was it about guarding your financial control, cutting wasteful expenses, building new income streams, or ensuring your estate plans are up to date? Each rule holds its own kind of wisdom, and together they create a strong foundation to help you age with confidence, clarity, and peace of mind. This isn't just about money, it's about your freedom, your dignity, and your ability to shape the life you want in your later years. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about growing older is that it means giving up control. But the truth is, you have more power than you think. Every decision you make, no matter how small, can either protect your future or put it at risk. And the good news is, it's never too late to make a better choice. Whether it's reviewing your bank statements, revisiting your legal documents, or simply asking a trusted advisor for help, these small steps send a powerful message that your future still matters. If this video helped you see things more clearly or reminded you of something important, I encourage you to take action today. Even one change can set off a ripple that protects not just your finances, but your well-being and peace of mind. You've worked hard to get where you are. Now it's time to protect what you've built, not just for your sake, but for those who love you and look up to you. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.